Hello guys, we live in very unpredictable times, so today I will have to comment on a very unpredictable situation. And that is a very heated clash that took place between President Zelenskyy and President Trump in the Oval Office during a press conference, of course with the support of JD Vance. You know, I had to take some time to think, to slow down my reactions, and finally I am ready to tell you about the most popular theories that actually are spreading right now all over the internet. What might have been the reason for this conflict? Of course, there were a lot of quite negative comments coming from President Trump, who actually said that he supports both Ukraine and Russia, which is totally unacceptable for me after the 3 years of full-scale invasion, all this mass murders, war crimes. But there were other things that perhaps the Ukrainian president could not help his reaction from. So let's discuss what are the potential reasons for this clash, what are the potential consequences, and why aren't we that frightened here in Ukraine? My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, subscribe, we discuss all of that on the channel. Well, honestly, a lot of things coming from the White House right now are not very good for the Ukrainian soul, because Donald Trump wanted negotiations with Russia and Ukraine. He wanted them really fast, and somehow in the process of talking about these negotiations, equated the victim Ukraine and Russia an aggressor. Recently, we have watched a number of really pathetic videos when some of the top US administration representatives, when trying to get a new position, were asked, did Russia attack Ukraine? And knowing the reality, knowing the truth, actually speaking about that for years, they were unable to provide an answer because perhaps they are afraid of Donald Trump, JD Vance, but Zelenskyy is not afraid. Zelenskyy is not afraid of Putin, he is not afraid of Trump, same as, honestly, the majority of Ukrainians. When I was watching this clash, I was thinking about you, especially about my friends from the United States, that perhaps you feel super worried about us. Of course, it was very uncomfortable. It was quite humiliating to watch how they say to your ally, to the president of Ukraine, you're not allowed to speak or to talk. But at the same time, all this show undermines the seriousness of Trump's politics and diplomacy. And sometimes you get this feeling it's much better than to be honestly, I don't know, on the different sides of history, if that is what modern US administration chooses. Because when asked, there were a number of 100% pro-Russian comments, especially coming from JD Vance, like there are no people left. Honestly, I don't know what was the conflict around, because Zelenskyy did not demonstrate any disrespect. We are all very grateful to the people of the United States, to the strong and beautiful nation that gave us an example of democracy and freedom. And sometimes we feel the responsibility to back you up right now, maybe with our spirit, if not with our money. But Zelenskyy did not say anything offensive. The only words that he wanted to say is that Ukraine is a strong country, Ukraine is fighting, we have people left, not everything is destroyed, and he actually invited JD Vance, come and see. And after that, it was a very long, emotional speech coming from Donald Trump, actually totally unconnected to what Zelenskyy said. I have to be very open and honest with you. If I have to choose sides, I do, and that is the side of my President Zelenskyy. Once again, when asked, do you support Ukraine or Russia? Trump answered, I like both. That is not okay, remembering what they do to Ukraine on a daily basis. So I think it was really difficult for President Zelenskyy to hide his emotions, but it is a high-level politics, a high-level diplomacy. So personally, I don't think all of this happened accidentally, just because someone could not hold his emotions. And two versions exist. Subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine, and please share this video so that the world knows this Ukrainian, I don't know, anti-Russian vision of the world, because unfortunately right now a lot of pro-Russian narratives dominate in the White House. That is alarming, guys. So, version number one, which I personally support. It states that Donald Trump failed to organize negotiations between Russia and Ukraine because there is literally nothing we can negotiate. At this moment in history, both countries do not see any way they can, stop fighting, because in our case, we want to defend our lives, our language, our culture, our existence. In case of Moscow, they want to destroy all of Ukraine, our nation, our independence, all of our people. So there is not much space for compromise. And not understanding that before, after this couple of days of very chaotic, almost agonizing efforts, Donald Trump realized it is impossible. But he cannot tell his electorate he failed, because he is the greatest strategic leader of the world, and he needed someone to blame. Another reason that proves that is that they allowed Ukraine to reshape the mineral deal, which at the very beginning included $500 billion, a sum that is just space rockets thing. But anyway, they changed it and they agreed on some of the Ukrainian conditions. And it may be just another proof that no one was prepared to sign it anyway. And this was a planned conflict provoked by J.D. Vance to blame Zelenskyy. First, that he attacked Russia perhaps in 2022, and second, that he does not want peace and provokes the Third World War. This is total distortion and manipulation, actually very dangerous for the future on this planet, because the only person to blame for the potential growing war is in the Kremlin. And now he has a buddy, and I'm really worried about that. So personally, I believe the plan was to find a person you can blame for the failed attempts to achieve peace, just because Trump did not evaluate the situation realistically. He was promising anything. And when it came to reality, to talking with Putin, you clearly saw that Lavrov repeated, no Ukrainian territories, no European military, anything. Russia did not agree on any conditions. Ukraine was not prepared to capitulate, and that's what Russia wants. So literally, Trump did not have any option to start the negotiation process. And he needed someone to blame, because he cannot blame himself. He cannot say it was my mistake. And he's afraid of Putin, so he chose Zelenskyy. And I believe this is very likely, because once again, in the words that President Zelenskyy wanted to say, actually after Trump told him you're not allowed to speak, that is to a leader of the largest European country now fighting your eternal enemy, American president, Russia was your eternal enemy. So after that, he did not demonstrate any disrespect. He was very careful in the choice of words. The only thing he was saying is that Ukraine is a strong country that exists. We have people, we have cities, we have what to stand for. Come and see. And that is why I think that this exaggerated reaction, and moreover, on some videos you can actually hear someone saying what a TV show that will be, just proves this theory. Subscribe, I need that. And like the videos, this helps. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this clash? Because once again, I'm subjective, I'm Ukrainian, maybe I'm wrong in something. Please explain that to me. Version number 2. Ukrainian version, which says that during these conversations with Trump, with JD Vance before the press conference, Zelenskyy was pushed to sign something else, or he was like they were trying to persuade him to agree on something with Russia that he could not accept anyway. And he realized that if he remains silent and pretend that everything is fine, they can actually push him into that trap. So he decided to go all in and to openly demonstrate how we stand for our independence, democracy, and the protection actually of international laws. And it seems like Trump is siding with Russia and Putin. And now perhaps he will leave a lot of comments saying that Putin wants peace. That's why he shells Ukraine, kills its civilians, and actually destroys the country for 11 years. And Zelenskyy does not want peace. And that is why he keeps protecting Ukrainian people and looks for ways to provide security guarantees. That is a total manipulation, and I do hope you do not believe that, because if we let such kind of lies dominate in the world, shape our opinions, we are in great danger, a greater danger than any Third World War. Actually, a very red carpet to it. It resembles 1930s. And, after all this heated conversations, there was a post of Trump in his social media, Truth Social. You know what is funny? They sometimes say it is banned in Ukraine. It's not banned in Ukraine, but nobody is on Truth Social in Ukraine, because why should we? Honestly, X is not popular among Ukrainians. These are most English language social media. You have to understand that the majority of Ukrainians, unfortunately, don't speak English that good. So I literally do not know anyone who is on Truth Social. So there, he wrote a message that we did not sign a peace deal, blah, blah, blah. And Zelenskyy is not prepared for peace. And he demonstrated his disrespect to the people of the United States in the Oval Office. First of all, if you have any feeling like that, I want to apologize, and I can guarantee you that all the Ukrainian people are very grateful to the American people. But we are also very worried about what is happening, not just in your foreign, but your internal politics, because it does resemble this dangerous control of just a few people of everything. But anyway, Zelenskyy did not demonstrate any disrespect. If there were a case of disrespect in the Oval Office, that was actually Elon Musk's son leaving his booger, or how do you call it, on a historical table and using his child as a shield against complex questions, which he answers in a very bad way. Unfortunately, these are very turbulent times. Unfortunately, good leaders who stand for the truth, for the democracy, for actually love and respect to the United States are humiliated in the Oval Office by Donald Trump, and bloodthirsty dictators responsible for the deaths of hundreds and thousands of Ukrainians are treated as friends and the ones who want peace. That is very difficult for my Ukrainian heart. I know we have to keep explaining a lot of things, we have to keep debunking a lot of things, but just for a second, imagine how it feels to be Ukrainian at this moment in history, when during these 3 years you do everything to stand against the very open evil. It's quite obvious, it's just like good and evil in this war is very visible. Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia killed a lot of Ukrainian civilians. Russia tortured. Russia stole Ukrainian children. Russia created a lot of ecological catastrophes. Russia did that all online. You saw that. And now, after 3 years of the very exhaustive war, of bright Ukrainian heroism, we have to keep persuading you that we are not to blame for that. It's very painful and very difficult, honestly. We have to remain united. I'm very grateful to people from different corners of the world who now show support to Ukraine, and all the leaders that there are many who have already tweeted or sent some messages that you are not alone. This matters. Thank you for that. Thank you for the community that we have on the channel. It's a safe place, and it is under great danger of bullies and people who manipulate reality and undermine the heroism of a nation that protects its own existence, survival. Thank you for understanding. Join me on X, on Threads, on Discord, on Blue Sky, and on Instagram. Remember to join tomorrow for live 9 p.m. Kyiv. Check our merch shop for lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine, and we need that. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. I am trying to be very calm and reserved because there will be a lot of bad comments coming in the next days, but I want to know what you think about this situation. So if you feel like, write in the comments below. And thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!